Hey there, fellow rock stars. Ben Littlefield here, Rockstar Ben. On behalf of our man, Dr. Dan, welcome to the Rockstar Secret Lair. Want to have another heart-to-heart with you, okay? Because Dan and I get told this. We get accused of making it look too easy. And I want to share something with you that's kind of personal. Not easy to share because I don't really like dwelling on the past. That's not my thing. My thing is here now, what's next? Here now, what's next? I mean, that's really how I do. So when I go back and look at stuff from the past, it's never really fun for me, but I'm willing to do that for you because I think it can possibly benefit. Things weren't always easy for me. Dan has his own stories too, believe me. Things were not always easy. There was a time when I got a little crazy, got a little wild when I was younger, and man, I drank too much and I ate too much, and I was just this obese, 350-pound guy. I mean, I went from being a high school athlete to just blowing up and just not taking any care of myself at all. And I was not happy in my life. I mean, there, look at this. Yeah, that was me. That was me. And seriously, I transformed that. That was one of my first obstacles that I overcame in my life. I went from being 350 pounds and drinking too much and partying too much and eating too much, all that crazy stuff, to making a plan for myself, immersing myself in what I needed to do to truly break through. And that was one of the first moments in my life I realized, man, I have a lot more control than I thought I did. And it was less than 6 months. I went from that to being a healthy athlete again. I just hit it hard. I just did what you're supposed to do. Exercise and eat right and cut out the crap, right? I mean, that's all I really did. It wasn't anything magic. I just set my mind to it and I immersed myself in that environment and I got to it. That was the first roadblock I had in my life. I was young, so I still had my whole world ahead of me. The second one, a lot of people don't even know about this one. The second one came when I was in my mid-20s. I had been dating the same girl for many years in college, and we decided to get married. We got married. We started doing all the things you're supposed to do, right? Buy a house and start setting up a job. Even though I was running my own business, but I was just doing this whole motion of things that I thought I was supposed to be doing. Well, in this rut that I found myself in my life, I was part of a business that I hated. I was just doing a bunch of crap that I didn't like doing because I thought I was supposed to. And I came home one day to discover that the woman I'd been with for nearly 7, 8 years had been having an affair. And it did two things. Immediately, it broke my heart. And the betrayal was just unimaginable. But it was also a gift. Because it woke me up. It woke my ass up. It gave me a realization that I was in a place in my life that I could not stand. And I remembered back to that day that I made the decision that I wasn't going to be this 350-pound, just dead space, okay, in my life anymore. I looked back to that moment and said, you know what? This is that moment again. It has arrived one more time. And I took that. And I reworked my business model just like that. And I said, I'm not happy in my business. I'm not happy in my marriage. I'm going to stop all this shit that I don't like and take control back. And that's what I did. And I bought a backpack and I went to New Zealand. I traveled the world for a long time. Ended that marriage, of course. Guys, by the way, as most of you know, I am very happily married now to the woman of my dreams and 2 beautiful children. Couldn't be happier. But it's a result of the learning from that obstacle and breaking through, pushing through, plowing through, and understanding that my life was my choosing and how I do things is up to me. Let's fast forward a little bit. In a new marriage, new life, I'm in a new business. And guess what? Obstacle number 3. My new business has partners that, I'm having trouble working with, and there's issues. Don't need to go into all that. But I have to change my business model again. And I realize I've been doing this internet stuff for a long time, growing my own businesses in every which way I wanted to. Hell, one of them I was doing in a way that allowed me to travel the world with a backpack and only log in 1 or 2 hours a day. I was like, why am I not doing that anymore? Why am I not doing that kind of stuff? Well, I found that so many people wanted to hire me to consult with them, and it wasn't enough people to really replace all the money I was making to support my lifestyle the way I'd come accustomed. But I realized that I needed to make a change. I needed to move into the role of doing more of that. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, that obstacle was I was running out of money. I had, at best, and I'm being very generous with myself, at best, 2 months of runway until I wasn't going to be able to make the mortgage payment and my bills. 2 months. That's all I had. I had just a couple small clients trickling in, like a couple $100 here and a couple $100 there. I didn't have anything. I was literally at a place where I had to decide, man, am I going to go take an hourly job somewhere just so I don't have to worry about this? And I looked back to my life. Looked back to making decisions to immerse myself in excellence, to go out and plow through. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? And I wrote it down. I wrote down very simply. I remember this. At that time, I was saying, well, I just need, I can probably get people to pay me about $500 a month pretty easily. That's what I was telling myself. Then now I know it's a lot more than that. But at that time, that was my number. And I said, well, how many people do I need to pay me $500 a month to where I can make an extra $100,000 this year? Well, that was easy. I looked at it and said, okay, so if I have 20 clients paying $500 a month, that's plenty. That's, 10 grand a month. That's $120,000 a year coming in. So I set my intention on that. I immersed myself in that. And this is what I did. I looked, at that time, that was the emergence. Nobody was even talking about offline consulting or local marketing consulting the way we do now. And I looked in the local trade magazines, or the business journals and all those. It's like, oh, here's all the networking events. This is where the business owners are. This is where the people are going to be. So I just went. I went and learned and watched and talked. I didn't really pitch anything, didn't really sell anything. I just shared what I knew about running my businesses, on using internet marketing and doing SEO stuff. I mean, I just talked and had conversations. 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks after visiting just a handful of networking events, I had crushed my goal of 20 people paying me $500 a month. A year later, I had close to 100 clients doing that. That was another obstacle. I learned that I was a dancing monkey. I was making a lot of money. I was a high-paid dancing monkey, but I didn't have control. That's when I started looking at leasing, digital assets, all that stuff, because I wanted to replace that income with something I owned and control. Because I remember back saying, hey, every time I was faced with an obstacle or a roadblock, I realized it was because I wasn't taking control the way I wanted to, with my way. Then doing that stuff, I ended up meeting Dr. Dan. We ended up doing some amazing things. We're still doing some amazing things. And it just gets easier and easier. So guys, I want to tell you this because it's not always been easy. It's always been having a challenge and overcoming it. And with every single one, it gets easier. And that's the thing. And that's the whole thing we see in people trying to sell, trying to take their digital assets and sell them or lease them, trying to take their service and sell it and lease it. Guys, it doesn't have to be hard. It's a small obstacle. In the big scheme of things, it's in your control, it's in your power. And that's why we're trying to take those excuses away from you. It's never been easy. It's just always been easy to make a decision. You understand? It's to make a decision. And that's why we're doing this thing we're calling the Paid Like Rock Stars program. Because we want to show you how we have taken these types of obstacles and plowed right through them and taken it to another level. So if you are interested in joining us and understanding that, hey, life isn't always easy, but it's really easy to make a decision to change that shit. And one of the things we want you to change is the way you look at it and to understand, hey, once we hand you these resources, we show you our ways of finding honeypots and getting lots of clients really fast, really easy, lots of tenants interested, how we use and leverage huge traffic sources without having to do crazy cold calling or anything complicated, how we can take things and leverage into them without sacrificing our time. We're going to show you how we sell without feeling like we're slick back hair salespeople, because we don't feel like we're like that. We feel like we are adding value to other people's lives by helping businesses get more of what they want. We're giving them what they want and we get what we want. Everybody wins. And we're going to show you how we do that. We're going to show you the secrets and tricks of how we make that happen on a regular basis. How when we're met with a challenge, we're like, bam, I know 3 different ways we can go and get $10,000 a month. We're going to share those with you. We're going to share those kinds of things with you. Now, it's going to be up to you whether or not you're going to meet that obstacle, take the knowledge, take what we show you, take what we give you, and use it. That's going to be the decision you have to make. We can hand over all the information in the world, but you need to make a decision. Do you want in on this? And if you do, are you going to do something with it? If not today, it's easy to make a decision to do it at some point, right? But I want to encourage you to make that decision sooner rather than later. I'm only saying it takes a decision. It takes a choice. And that's all there is to it. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you. I know I had to open up a couple of stories that I don't like sharing publicly because, like I said, my style is I live in the moment and look to the future. You know, it's, okay, here where we are now, bam, what's next? Bam, what's next? That's how I live. So it's not easy for me to go back and talk about struggles. I don't like that because I've had some. But you need to know, it's not always easy. The only thing that's easy is to make a decision to change it. Make a decision to bust right through. And that's what I am putting in front of you right now, is such a decision. And I know you guys are rock stars. So show us that you're willing to make that decision and rock out with us. Guys, this has been Littlefield, Rockstar Ben, coming at you from the Rockstar Secret Lair on behalf of our man, Dr. Dan, reminding you guys to keep rocking and to always be a rock star in your business and in your life.